This is Parashat Tazria Metzora, B'ezrat Hashem. This is Parashat Tazria Metzora. Somebody told me that, Rabbi, what are you going to say Parashat Tazria Metzora? Maybe we should skip this parashat. All talks about Metzora, and it's not relevant to our life today nowadays. But I'm telling you, if you want to know a parashat that's very relevant and talks our daily life, I'm not talking about coronavirus. That's obviously talks about that. But bichlal, even other years, I said that this is a parasha that then hashkocha l'Kadosh Baruch. If somebody comes to you and says that I want to learn a parasha in Torah, that parasha talks about hashkocha, I tell him learn parasha of Metzora, Tazria and Metzora, because this parasha brings out all of the hashkocha that God deals with us. And in this year, these two parashut are very much expressing what's happening, the hashkocha, and everything that you see. Now, a lot of times we will learn about Metzora, that in other words, we have to be very careful with the bed, with the chair, with the place, with the house. And we would have said, who says, why is it like that? A lot of times we would not hear it well. Now, with coronavirus, we understand. Of course, Metzora is not physical disease, it's a spiritual disease, but we could associate what's happening around us, that, the virus moves so quickly and could move from anything to a person, that the idea is the same thing here. Now, Torah part talks about, first, we're going to start the parasha with the birth. Hashem spoke to Moshe saying, that in Israel. Tell Ben Israel Lemor saying, Ishaki Tazria. A woman, she conceives, the Yalda, she gives birth, Zachar to a male, V'tama Shivat Damim. She's going to be contaminated for 7 days. Kemeni, that's devotat itma. As during the days of her separation, infirmity, titma, she shall be contaminated. In other words, just like a lady becomes tummy by nida, birth also is mitameh a lady for 7 days. As all say, a baby is born 7 days of tuma for his mother, and when he leaves the world, also 7 days. On the 8th day, on the 8th day, we do the brit milah on the flesh of his foreskin. Now, first of all, we always explain what's the semichut of parashiyot. Last thing, parasha talks about ma'acharot asurot. What is mutar, what's not mutar. Now, Ramban says that somebody, pregnant lady, has to be very careful. Whatever that he eats makes the neshama of the blood. The kiddush of the blood comes through what the mother eats. And the other point is, lastly, parasha says, should be kadosh, sanctify yourself to be kadosh. Once you sanctify yourself and you are kadosh in marital relationship, you have a children with a good neshama. The connection says that marital relationship is kodesh and kodashim. Person has to sanctify to be kadosh. Now the kiddush of the marriage is very important in Torah. Torah says that through the kiddush of the marriage, a person is zoche to children. Now, what's the kiddush of marriage? Kiddush of marriage is a person should not be selfish and self-centered. Person has to be thinking about the other person. Person, Rosh Yeshiva said, the highest kedusha in marriage is to maximize the pleasure of the other person. Person should not just be thinking about his own gratification and his own self-indulgence. He should be thinking about the other person. How could he make it better and better? The more maximize the pleasure of the other person, that's the greatest kedusha that would be, and the children would be more kadosh. Now, Torah tells us, Rashi says, Amar Silvai is this first Rashi, just like by my separation. Adam was created after all of the animals and wild animals and the bird, the separation. The Torah also is being explained after all my say. Now, what's the point of this midrash of Simlai? What Simlai teaching us? It's teaching us that my separation, Adam was at the end. Here also, when we learn the Torah of the Tumah of the Tahara of animals and Adam first, animals then Adam. So the question over here is why Adam is not first. Then the question is why by creation Adam was not first. Because usually you prepare things for the purpose and the goal. The goal of the creation was Adam. Everything else was prepared. That's what's a hakon of preparation. Other things don't have free choice. Other things don't have to move it out for their own sake. All is for Adam. Now, Torah is telling us all of the Tumah V'Tahara of animals the same way in my Bereshit. Everything was created for Adam. The Tumah V'Tahara of animals also is for the sake of Adam. And it is there to be used for Avodat Hashem. And that's why Adam, the Tumah V'Tahara of Adam was at the end, final stage. No, there is a big difference between Tumah V'Tahara of animal and Adam. Animal is tummy, forever is tummy. It cannot change. It's kosher, forever it's kosher. Adam changes from one state to another state, from Tumah to Tahara, Tahara to Tumah. Therefore, the point is that if somebody is tummy and tells himself that I'm a tummy, I stay tummy, is an animalistic act. In my Bereshit, that idea was given to animals. You are tummy, you stay tummy, is animals. Animalistic mentality. Adam, the Hal Israel, understands that no matter how tummy he gets, he becomes tahu. All of the tumah comes from the chet of Adam Arishon. HaKadosh Baruch Hu didn't want to create a world with contamination. Adam sinned, and all of the contamination came about. Now, on 8th day, to do Brit Milah. Now, the Midrash says, why Brit Milah is 8th day? Makes sense to do Brit Milah right away. Why should you wait for 8 days? The Midrash says, unbelievable point. The Midrash says, Torah says, the lady is tummy for 7 days. Torah says, it's not nice to have the celebration of the Brit Milah, such a happy occasion, and father and mother, they are not happy because they can't have intimate relationship together. Therefore, 7 days is tummy. Midoraita is 7 days only. When Midrabanan is much more. Midoraita is 7 days. 7 days, therefore, Torah wanted to be B'Tahara. And that gives us a very important insight in life. In life, to create the relationship and to be intimate relationship, that is the source of happiness. If a person has the greatest simcha, greatest thing in the world, they have a ben zachar, beret milah, but that intimate relationship is not there, there is no simcha. The source of simcha is intimate relationship. Therefore, the more we try to build up our relationship to make it more intimate, we're going to have happier home and we're going to have a better children. Now, another Midrash says, why Brit Milah is the 8th day? Because we want the child to experience Shabbat. Why is it so important to experience Shabbat while he is not circumcised? Is it better to be mahul, to have the experience of Shabbat, the first Shabbat of his creation, or it's better not to be mahul? Unbelievable. The Midrash says it's better not to be mahul. Why is it like that? Why shouldn't we maul him that the first one would think it's better to maul him, to circumcise him, that the first Shabbat of his birth should experience Shabbat? No. Torah says, let him experience Shabbat while he's not mahul. Why? Because the Kedusha of Shabbat gives a different dimension of the Brit Milah to him. When you want to make a covenant with somebody, you have to be ready for that. You can't just jump in the Brit. Milah is the Brit, it's a covenant with HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Hashem is telling us, if you want to be my avodim, that mark of being my eved is not on your forehead, it's not on your shoulder, it's not on your heart, it's not on your brain, it's not on your eyes, it's on private part of a person. Because Torah tells us the covenant is being made only through that. When a person could control himself. Somebody cannot control himself, he cannot relate to HaKadosh Baruch Hu. That is the sign of the Brit. Now, through that, we have to empower a child. We have to show him the experience of Kedusha of Shabbat, Tahara of Shabbat, to understand what is he getting involved with the motivation of preparing the Neshama to understand the Kedusha. And that's why we have 6 days of creation. 7th is Shabbat, part of the Beriah of HaKadosh Baruch Hu. And Brit Milah is 8th, is above nature. The nature makes the person to indulge himself in taibot. The nature makes the person to be involved more and more and more. But HaKadosh Baruch Hu empowered the Hal Israel. The Hal Israel has the power to what the world cannot say no, the Hal Israel has power to say no and stand for it. And that comes from the covenant of the Brit Milah. Therefore, the Kiddush of Shabbat would help out to make this connection. 33 days, she should remain in the blood of purity. In other words, means 33 days, whatever blood she sees, she's not Tameh, she's not Nida. Obviously, it's Midoraita, but nowadays we are Machmir, and if we say that for a Zachar, 40 days, she should stay away from the husband. The whole Kodesh Notiga, but these 33 days, he cannot touch Kodesh, cannot come. Why? Because the real Tevila that she goes is 40th day. She's like Tipul Yom, long Tipul Yom. At the Emrod Metzora, till she completes the Metzora. In other words, for the husband would be Mutar after 7 days. But for Bikdash would be Tameh, Tumah B'Tara. In other words, there are two different subject matter here. Once we are talking about Ilchon Nida, she is Tameh. That's a Tumah that's talking about the Kedusha of the Tamikdash Kurban. But Chas v'Shalom, it's not the Tumah of the husband and wife. In other words, or she cannot daven, she cannot pray, she could daven, she could pray, could everything. She's normal. The only thing is that just to stay away from the Kedusha. And while she's Nida, she stay away from the marital relationship or whatever that the Harcha could earn. But Mitzat Tumah, the Tumah is a much different Tumah. And the Tumah that they are talking about, they say that something, an animal is not kosher, it's Tameh. Now, what about that was Zachar? If she gives birth to a girl, she should be Tameh 2 weeks. And 66 days, she should sit the Metzora down to double. And when he finishes the Metzora even about, Tavi should be in Keves, a sheep of 1 year, Ola for Ola, who ben Yona Oto lechatat, should bring it down for a turtle down for Chatat. El Petach should then wait. No. Therefore, Torah is why by Nekeva is more, because first of all, what is this tumor? See, we have to bring Chata. No, why this lady has to bring somebody who sinned? What's the sin over here that she has to bring Chata? Now, one of them, the portion of the Midrash says, there are different reasons. One reason is because while she had pain, we are afraid that it makes Shavua, that I'm not going to become pregnant anymore. I don't want a relationship anymore. She makes Shavua or Neder. No, but obviously she goes back to it. It's a Avera, it's a sin. That's why she brings Chat. Now, Ramban says, Belidoto Mayan Nirpash. In other words, when she gives birth, at the time of birth is a sakana danger. And Mayan Nirpash is its womb and the source. There are things happening there. And then it needs a kofir. It needs a kapara to bring to elevate herself from that stage. That's Ramban says. No, the Midrash says another reason. The Midrash says all of the tumah comes from the Chet HaAdam HaRishon Chava. In other words, she has to bring not any birth. Is the tikkun of the Chet of Chava. Chava brought death to the world. Therefore, she has to understand to bring the existence, life to the world is through pain. She has to have pain. That pain is mechaper about Chatodim. And then this Urban Chatot also is mechaper on Chava. Because all of the contamination and the tumor is because of that. Now, Bichlal, why is it coming? Birth is mutameh. Zohar HaKadosh says, there is a balance between life and tumor. Hashem created a balanced world. There is a tumor, there is a tahara. There is a chiyut, there is a death. Now, wherever that there is potential of chiyut, life, you take it away, the life, the vacuum is there. That vacuum is tumor. Now, this lady was carrying a neshama, chiyut, and she was helping the neshama to grow, to be part of her. And it's the neshama of the Israel. That's why the Midrash says, if you are starting Adam, why do we start from a woman? We should start with the tomb of a man. Just like the Beriah, Hakadosh created the man first. Therefore, why over here, if it is duplication of the creation, why do we talk about tomb of a lady? The Midrash says, just like in creation, Hashem talked about creating. In other words, now creating in Amashomot of Israel depends on the lady. The wife creates the Kedusha. That's why Paro was the tipesh, was fool to destroy the men and maintain the women, because the women are the ones who carry the kedusha of the tahara. They are the ones to bring out the Am Yisrael. So that's why we talk about ladies. The chatat is for the sake of the kapara on the chabad. Now it's very interesting that Torah says he has to bring one bird. This one bird, in other words, he has to bring keves, a sheep for olah. Olah means the offering of like a gift, to give a gift. And for chatat, just bring it down, a bird. Now this bird could be Yonah or Tor. Now usually in Torah always talks about Tor. When Torah says about these two birds, these two birds says Tor first and then Yonah. Here Torah changes. It says Yonah and then Tor. Baraturim asked, how come here Torah changed from all over? All over we have Torim or Ben Yonah all over. Here is Ben Yonah Tor. Because here, usually in Torah says we have to bring two. One Olah for Chatat. Here, Olah we bring keves, we sheep. We bring only for Chatat one single one. Now, if you are bringing one single one, Torah says, Torah prefers that you should bring dove. First says dove. Why? Because dove, if you turtle, because turtle dove, if you kill the batsuk, the pair of it, the other one is loyal to that pair, stays single for the rest of our life, for its life. Therefore, Torah doesn't want that separation. Torah says we have to be sensitive. You could cause pain for the bird, don't cause pain. And from here, we learn out how sensitive we have to be with the people. Here, you could get Ben Yonah, and Ben Yonah would not have that characteristics of staying single. Now we want the single one, take Ben Yonah first, if not to. And brings the and provide atonement on that, and she shall become purified from the source of her blood. These are the laws of the lady gives birth, to male or female. Now, what about if she cannot afford it? They say funds sufficient for a sheep. Sheep was very expensive. Should take two Turim. See, it says Turim first, because two, always Turim. Turtle dove first, two turtle doves or doves, should be young doves, one for Olah, one for Chatat, and provide atonement for her, HaKohen, and she becomes Tahu. So that is the parasha of birth that Torah starts, parasha Tazria, from the birth of Zachar, birth of Nekeba, and she has to bring a korban to appreciate, to be grateful to HaKadosh Baruch. Now we're going to start the second parasha Metzora. Now Torah says, "Whatever Hashem Moshe Aaron more that dam kiye dor besaro." There is a Metzora. Now Chachamim say, what's the semichud of the parasha of birth to Metzora? Because we just said by birth you have to bring a korban. Now what about if he doesn't bring a korban? The Midrash says that HaKadosh Baruch Hu is saying, the lady, you had a birth, you don't bring korban. What am I going to do? I give you Metzora to force you to bring korban. You didn't bring korban willingly. I forced you to bring korban. Now, what's the pshat? Now, what does birth, not bringing korban for birth, has to do with Metzora and Lashon Hara and bringing korban for Lashon Hara? Metzora is motzi ra. It brings out ra. It brings evil, and that is Lashon Hara. What does it have to do with this? Now, Mefarshim say Torah is telling us something very deep here. And that will be introduction to the Chod Lashon Hara and Metzora. And what's that? Torah is telling us why this lady is not bringing korban. Why is not thankful to HaKadosh Baruch Hu? Because she's not counting her blessings. She doesn't understand our people on earth. They are ready to pay millions and millions of dollars to have a baby. And HaKadosh Baruch Hu just gave you a baby. You are not thankful. You don't appreciate, you don't bring a korban. You are somebody who doesn't count his blessings in life, her blessings in life. You have a perspective of looking at things as a negativity. And that is the gate of Lashon Hara. In other words, you want to fight yet Lashon Hara. How do you fight? You don't tell somebody, don't say Lashon Hara. He would say Lashon Hara. Not saying Lashon Hara, you have to change your mentality. You have to appreciate life. You have to be grateful. You have to see the blessings. You have to see good things. Now, the Chachmim Musar say Lashon Hara is like a bug nature. In other words, bug comes on the table. All of the table is clean. Only one place is dirty. Picks on that dirty place. You come tonight home. Everything is ready. One thing is not right. One thing. You forget about everything, and the person will just talk about that thing. This is a bug in nature, and that destroys people. Imagine a lady that works so hard, prepared everything, and you make comment only about that. You break her. You destroy her. A child works so hard on something, makes something. Oh, good, but. Therefore, a person goes to the problem, and the person sees the problem. I have a rule. Always you give 10 compliments, 1 complaint. If you gave 10 compliments to your wife, then okay, you could criticize 1 time. But as long as you didn't give 10 compliments, don't. You didn't give 10 compliments to your child. You didn't give compliments to somebody that's somebody for Sibur. You never went to him and tell him that you did a wonderful job, good job. Now, 1 time he did something wrong. One of my Yachad Kollel came back from a shiur. I told him that, how was it, what is it? He said, nobody said anything. I told him, see, if nobody said anything, you gave a perfect shiur. Because here, nobody says that you did something good. When something goes wrong, everybody picks up the phone and calls. I appreciate it very much when one neighbor called me and said that I want to give you a nachat call. I said, what? What's a nachat call? He said, see, in the world, everybody calls for the wrong things. But I saw your son did something very novel. He did something very good to my son, and I want to let you know that to appreciate that. Therefore, that's meaningful. Person, this is changing your perspective. How do you fight the Lashon Hara when we get the kovach and the power of appreciation? We count our blessings, and through that we could fight Lashon Hara. Hashem spoke to Hashem. Adam kiye beor besaro seed usapachat upahere. Adam that is going to be beor skin on skin, his flesh seed usapachat upahere. In other words, Metzora is not a natural disease. The Persian proved that. One of the greatest proof is we're going to learn in Torah. If all of the body is sarat, then it's tahor. If it's a contagious disease, how could it become tahor? If all of the body is like that, why is it tahor? It should be tummy. The other thing is we have for begotten garment and houses also. If it is nature is natural, it doesn't go on the beged garment and therefore this is the machla from Shammai. So the Baruch Hu gives. Now, why does he give it? For somebody, 3 things. 3 basic things. There are a lot of other things. 3 basic things. One, the most is gossip, saying Lashon Hara. In other words, saying bad things. What's Lashon Hara? Saying bad things about other people, even if it's true. Or somebody tells you something that is makbid not to tell others, the person says. And that, no, why do we have such a great punishment for somebody to say Lashon Hara? In Torah, we don't have somebody that's the greatest Avera. We don't have such a thing that is plague comes from Shamayim to him, or somebody does Avodah Zarah, idol worshipping. We don't have such a thing that Torah promises that something comes from Shamayim. All of a sudden here by Lashon Hara, we find that the Baruch Hu says, no, really Zohar asks, we have four expressions for Adam. We have a lot of expressions for Adam. We have Barnosh, Adam, Enosh, Yeve, Ish. All these expressions for Adam. Adam is the greatest. No, Parasha Metzora starts with Adam. The greatest title of Adam. Adam is the Darga. High level is called Adam. The highest level and form of Adam is Adam. No. Zohar HaKadosh says, if he does such a thing, why is he called Adam? It should have been, if he gets Metzora, it should be Banosh, Enosh, Gever. Lower level, why highest level? The Zohar HaKadosh says, don't make a mistake. This Metzora shows the high level of the Har Israel. The Har Israel, they have to be in such a high level, such an Adam. because it's an Adam, because it's close to HaKadosh Baruch Hu, and Hashem wants to prevent, hold him back from Avera. All of the punishment in Torah is not to be given. Punishment, the purpose of the punishment is prevention. No. Therefore, for such an Avera that's easy to be done, imagine somebody after 120 years, they gave him mountains of Avera. They want mountains. I didn't have time to do mountains of Avera. I said, no, you did it. How did you do it? When you were on the phone for 10 minutes, you did 10,000 Avera. Every word of Lashon Hara is the Avera by itself, like Chaim says. They were in a minute, person to do so many Averot. And it's very easy, doesn't cost, doesn't think. And moreover, there is a great temptation. Have you ever tried to stop yourself from a Lashon Hara that you are tempted to say? So juicy. You want to say it. You have to say it. In other words, you try not to say. At the end of the day, you say it in a way. And you say, very Lashon Hara. It doesn't help. Therefore, it's a great temptation. That's why HaKadosh Baruch Hu, with his own chesed, gave us a prevention. What's that prevention? Metzora. Metzora is a prevention from Lashon Hara, because Lashon Hara are very easy. The purpose of the punishment is prevention. To prevent people from such an Avera is very easy to be done. Therefore, Adam, the greatest, and that's why for this sin. Now, how does it come? From here, we learn the Hashgacha HaKadosh Baruch Hu. First goes to skin, little bit. It's covered, nobody sees it. Then, if he does teshuvah, he did teshuvah. Everything's fine. If he doesn't teshuvah, the sorrow, it goes to skin. It goes to basar. It goes to the flesh inside. Again, inside, nobody sees it. Just he sees it under the garment. No, there are four. Then this says, then becomes more besar that everybody could see. From here, we learn the Hashgacha HaKadosh Baruch Hu. You have to listen to your message. The message first comes a little tiny message. Why? Because HaKadosh Baruch Hu doesn't want to take revenge. Someone takes revenge, it's the other way. He attacks completely because he wants to banish the person. He wants to destroy the person. That is taking revenge. HaKadosh Baruch Hu doesn't want to take revenge. Hashem wants to improve. Hashem wants people to fix up. Therefore comes a little bit. Please, my kinderlach, fix up yourself. If you fix up yourself, then you don't need you need a bigger than that. Therefore comes bigger and goes further and further. Now, Metzora, what does said sapachat baheret? There are four colors that if the skin turns to that color, it could be Metzora. To avod, said, no. In other words, the skin, the natural color of the skin is not white. It turns to white. The whitest that we have is shell, snow. That is baheret. Baheret is the whitest. Then we have like wool of a baby sheep that is very clean, the wool that was washed. Second, then we have like the plaster of the hechal, and that another there are two of said and baheret. The told of that is plaster of the hechal, seed of hechal. That would be told of baheret. And then we have karumbia, membrane of the eggs membrane, and that would be the fourth one, would be told of said. That's why the Mishnah says, Marod going arba'a, there are two of and two toda. Sapachat means tafel, means toda. Sapachat goes to said and baheret. There are four changing of color, turn to white. Now we're going to explain what's the concept of whiteness. No, there is Salat Hubayla Kohen. It has to be brought to the Kohen. In other words, even if it's a great Talmid Chacham, he knows that this is a Metzora. He has to go to quarantine. He would not go. Only with the mouth of the Kohen. The Tuma and the Tahara of Metzora depends on the mouth of the Kohen. Mouth of the Kohen should say she's tummy. Even though that the Simonim are there, everything is there, it's not tummy. If the Kohen says, and if everything is removed, it's not tahu. Till the Kohen would come and say tahu. No, Chacham say, why? Why does it depend on the mouth of the Kohen? Because this chet came through Lashon Hara. He didn't appreciate the power of speech. He thought that he could say any word. Word or the wind is nothing. We tell him, see, here you are. You're state of what you are depends on the mouth of the Kohen. Whether the mouth of the Kohen says you are Tameh, you are Tameh. Tahor, Tahor. In the skin of the flesh, and the hair in the affliction changed to white, and the appearance of the affliction is deeper. Now, always when you have something shed and something light, always the light looks deeper, more from the skin of his flesh. Therefore, Torah is telling us, no, if you have one of these four change color, by itself is not common. We need, there are three simony for Tuma. One simony is that the hair turned to white. Now, the fact of the changing the color from the redness to the white, we have such a concept in the Gemara. In other words, really the Metzora comes from three great avirot. One is Lashon Hara. One is because embarrassing for somebody in front of public, making somebody embarrassed, and somebody doesn't have good eyes. In other words, he cannot see by other people. He doesn't have good eyes. Arrogance. Now, turning the skin to the white is making somebody embarrassed. In Chazal say, Azal Sunka wa Ata Chibra. The Sunka, the redness of the body goes away, and the Chibra and the white comes in. But that is associating with that Avirah that person does. Now, what is that? That calls that like a death. Because the person is alive with the circulation of blood. Once you stop the circulation of blood, you are stopping a person. If you are embarrassing somebody, you are making stop the circulation of his life, of his nefesh. You are killing him, you are destroying him. Therefore, turning to white means you be careful. Like Navi says, Chetz Shachud Leshonam. The tongue is like a Chetz Shachud, like arrows that kills, shechts, destroys. Imagine you give a weapon to somebody, to a child, and he doesn't know what does this weapon mean. Even this could kill, it just gets it on the people and that's it. Feels it's a toy. It's not a toy, it kills. It destroys Shalom Bayit. It destroys, Somebody said the virus started from China and moved all over. Somebody 13 years ago said Lashon Hara about the girl. They said this about the girl that was in their house, at home. He told his friend told friend, and friend told friend. And after 13 years, got to somebody that they want to make a shidduch. Say, oh, I heard this story about you. I'm not interested in this shidduch. Therefore, you see it travels. Lashon Hara travels and goes. Therefore, makes the red to white. That's the concept of killing somebody. And the hair, when it's gesund, when it's healthy, is shachor, it's black. Turning to white, that also is the simon of death, simon of the chiyut, the existence is being gone. Therefore, there's a message from HaKadosh Baruch Hu, what you are doing, you are taking away your existence. Be careful, becomes tummy. Therefore, this is the simony that he has to be careful. No. If it is white bahere, the skin of his pisaru, and it's not deeper from the appearance of skin, and the hair didn't rapach lavan. In other words, there is a stain on the body, but there is no other things to see that there is tummy or not. Stain by itself on the body doesn't make him tummy. No, the hiski la kohen tanega, and the hiski then quarantine the kohen the nega for 7 days. So the idea of the quarantine comes from here. The Kohen said on the 7th day would see the affliction stood, remained in its color. No pastor about did not spread out the affliction in the skin. If he doesn't see any change, means that he's not doing Teshuvah Shlema. All this quarantine means we want him to be by himself, to understand, to internalize what you did wrong. There is something that you have to fix up yourself. And you have to understand, nobody could fix up that for you. Don't wait for your rabbi, don't wait your father, mother, brother, sister. You have to help yourself. Quarantine means the only person who could help a person himself. Sadiq yodea nefesh behemato. Only a person knows what he does is doing wrong. Nobody else knows. Therefore, being in quarantine. No, he was in quarantine, but he didn't use it properly. He's still hanging over whether he wants to do Teshuva Shlema or not. He does not detach himself from the Avera. Cohen would give him quarantine for second week. Second week, and if it dimmed that relation, didn't spread out, it becomes Tahor. That's a sign that it's Mispachati. It's a Mispachat. It's not really Metzora. It's the marriage that's Tahor. It's not category of Metzora that becomes Tahor. But he has to wash his garments, has to go to mikveh, garments has to go to mikveh. No, what about if it's spread off further? Hamispachat be'or, achari roto akohen taroto, after roto akohen taroto. No, the word. Kohen sees it, makes it all. Go home, you're fine. And then all of a sudden, when he goes home, it spreads out. When he Rashid Kohen, second time he comes to the Kohen. He saw that mispachat that was a nega of tahor, it spread out. The tipo Kohen, sarati. No, we saraha. In other words, we have different leshonot here. Now, what's happening here? Somebody, HaKadosh Baruch Hu gives a message. He does teshuvah. He's hanging. Then he decides to do teshuvah. Hashem says, okay, you decide to do teshuvah. I let you go. But once he goes free, everything goes back. The sarat comes back. Unbelievable. Therefore, in Avodat Teshuvah, we have to be careful. When we are in pain, when the things are not going right, we do teshuvah. Coronavirus, we're going to do teshuvah. We move. No, what's going to happen a few months from now? A few weeks from now, when everything goes back. No, we're going to go back to our attitude. Or we're going to remember, we did the teshuvah. We make a covenant with HaKadosh Baruch Hu. We will make couple what to do. Therefore, here, when it goes back, the sarat comes back. The person should not feel, it's gone. No, it's not gone. It would be gone when you change yourself. Just like the body changes, like as the hair changes. You want HaKadosh Baruch Hu to return it back, you have to change. Once you change, then it returns back. No, that's Adam. He sees it's right, he of course Lavan, and it changed to the Lavan. That's one simon for Tuma. And there is a healthy place of flesh that's life. Said in the same. Very interesting. Therefore, if the star of Achlavan, that's Simon of Tuma, his tummy. Now, what about star is not changing to white, but what do we see there is the place of a healthy place of flesh that's life, that's alive. Therefore, what would that tell us? Healthy flesh. Usually, healthy flesh means everything's okay. It's not a simon of death. Simon of death means it's not healthy, it's healthy. Torah says, don't make a mistake. This is Torah, long-standing Torah. It's old, long-standing Torah. The Or Besar, in the skin of Torah. Kohen makes it tummy. Don't quarantine him. Kitame is tummy. It's tummy. Now, before she say, what's shot here? What's shot here? We saw a saying that is the basar chai. The basar is healthy. It's flesh. It's alive. Therefore, if it's alive and it's healthy, why is it simon of tumah? So Yaakov says here refers to those cheek, to those spirit that is flattering, and they come with a nice face to people and say, "We are your friend. We love you. We like you," and they stab them from the back. They do hurt them, damage them. Therefore, in apparent they look good, everything is fine, but noshenati is the deep inside decayed. This is measure by measure those people that they show themselves nice to other people and everything looks good, but when it comes to action and everything, they abuse him, they take advantage of him. Torah says, brings the stain that looks good and you get hope. And just like you gave hope to other people, and then everything collapsed, here they give you hope and everything collapsed. And if if will be an eruption of the Sarat, or skin, and the Sarat covers all of the skin of the afflicted, from the head to his feet. The whole marine wherever that the Kohen could see. Kohen. Sarat covered all of his physical flesh. Now, what should we do? A secular mind would feel that if Sarat is contagious disease, this is worse. We should make him quarantine for a long time, for a year. Because all of the body is disease, it's contagious. We have to take him out. Torah says, the affliction is tahor. Kulo hafach lavan tahor. If all turns to white, it's tahor. It's not tummy, it's tahor. From here we learn this disease is not contagious. Now, what's the message of Hashem? Good, it's not contagious, it's spiritual disease. But what's the message of Hashem? Unbelievable. What is it? If it's a Sadiq, why do we have this? If it's not a Sadiq, why is Tahor? Listen to Midrash. Learn the Hashkach of HaKadosh Baruch Hu. The Midrash says, HaKadosh Baruch Hu, really, he is not innocent. Really is a Rasha, and he deserves the Sarat. But Sarat comes all over of his body, and everybody looks at him. He's so embarrassed. The Busha takes him all over. HaKadosh Baruch Hu says the Rahmanut of the Father awakens for the Son. He says, my dear son has enough suffering. It's enough. The fact that I embarrassed him in front of everybody, that's good enough for you. I don't want you to experience the Tumah anymore. And it's Tahor. The fact that he got embarrassed, the fact of embarrassment, that is enough Sa'ar. I don't want my son to be in more tsar and anguish than that. That's the way that HaKadosh Baruch Hu deals with us. Hashem cannot see children in pain like a father cannot see the children in pain. Hashem is like a father. Hashem says, this person, Kulo Avach, Lavan, all over his Torah, that's good enough for him. He's embarrassed enough. Let that be a awakening factor for him, and he wouldn't need anything else. Now, but if we find in that basar chai, a basar flesh that's live, then he was coming. Now Chazal say, what is uvyom on that day? Now Rashi brings unbelievable point from Chazal. What's it on that day? She say, when he sees basar chai is coming, what's bayom on that day? Now lename yesh yom she'ata roeh bo v'yesh yom she'ata roeh bo. He wants to just, there is a day and there is a day. There is a day that you see the affliction and you announce Sarat and you quarantine a person or put him away. You can't do. But there is a day that you don't do. What's the day? Chatan, notin lo kol shiva demi hamishte, lo ul astalito, lechisoto, ul asreto rotor beto, lechen belege notin lo kol belege. Torah tells us there is a day that the Kohen sees the Sarat. He sees that he has to announce that this person is Sarat. He has to announce this house is Sarat. He has to announce this begotten is Sarat. But the Kohen, however, he doesn't do that, he doesn't announce, he doesn't break the tumah. Why? Because the Chatan has to go to Chuppah. He needs to be tahor. Chatan has to go to Chuppah. He needs the wedding. He needs the simcha wedding. He needs his garment. He needs his house, his home. The HaKadosh Baruch Hu says, give it to him. Don't announce. Again, Rachmei Av. Or it's the regel. It's right before Pesach, right before Shavuot. And if we make him Tameh, with the stay Tameh all Shavuot, HaKadosh Baruch Hu says, no, don't announce. Make it, don't. No. The question is like this. What does Hashem want? Hashem, what do you want? If you want him to be tahor, don't show him the sign. Don't create them. You do it. If you want him to become a, why do you tell Kohen not to announce it? Why is it like that? Again, Hashem is telling Khatan, you want to start your home under the chuppah. If you have the attitude of Lashon Hara, being negative, it's not the right chuppah. You have to do something about it. I cannot see that you go under the chuppah with the recipe of disaster. You have to change yourself. You have to change your mentality, perspective. If you want to have the right chuppah, you have to change yourself. Now, what do? I give you the sign. I alarm you. I tell you that you have to change yourself. No, really I should have done to make you to stay away. But I don't do that. That's Rahmanut Allah. It's regel. You want to go to the regel. HaKadosh Baruch Hu, to understand the Pesach of Hashem, you have to clean yourself. With that mentality, negativity, you cannot appreciate. You cannot be Shem Ma'adim. Ma'adim is the time of the Bechut HaKadosh Baruch Hu. It's the Chuppah of Hashem and Kahal Israel. Therefore, the sign is there to give him, to rebuke him, to change. Make that change, then your chuppah would be a wonderful chuppah. Make that change, then your Yom Tov is a wonderful Yom Tov. Therefore, HaKadosh Baruch Hu sees him, but the Kohen is not allowed to announce. And the Kohen sees the flesh is live, and it declares contaminated. The live flesh is tummy. But if we'll return back again, why the boy comes to Kohen, and it becomes tahor, and it turns over, change it to the Lavan until and again tahor. Now, we finished with the starat on the body. Now we're going to talk about what the body is, an inflammation on the body, and there's a scar. Through that scar, we see some type of change of stage, change of some spot. We're going to see what's Allah. What's our give the flesh? If will have had both in it on the skin, shechin, and inflammation. When you have healed, the inflammation got healed. And he's in the place of the inflammation. Said Levano, said a white, ubahiret, white, Adam Domet. Strict with red. No, though this could be with the turning to white or turning to white and red together, mixed together. That also is Siman of Tumah. Therefore, white, as we said, the redness also is the red is blood. You are shedding blood. Therefore, that also. He sees that the appearance is lower than the skin, and and the hair turn to white. Therefore, we say that if the skin is like that and the Sarlavan, that's Sabitum in the inflammation, wrapped, that's wrapped. Now, if Kohen sees there is no white hair and it's not lower than the skin, we can basically quarantine for 7 days. It spreads further in the skin. Kohen makes it tummy, affliction he. In Tachtia Ta'amut, and we stand in the place of Bahiret, it then spread out. It is scarring of the inflammation. The Tiara Kohen makes it tahor. That's a lot of inflammation. If there's inflammation and he sees his simonim of tumor, but if it doesn't spread out, it's tahor. Now we're going to see what about if there's a burning, and there was a burning that got healed, and now there is a stain on it. And the flesh that there will be in the skin, burn of a fire, and and there should be in the healed flesh, in the healed flesh, hamichva of the burn, bahiret levana, bahiret of white, atam dame, strict with red, or levana, or it's all white. Now it could be white or white strict with red. And turn the hair lavan in the white spot, and the appearance is deeper than skin. In the burn, that burn parcha erupted. And if the Kohen sees in baheret, if the baheret doesn't have salavan, and it's not deeper than the skin, and it's thin, quarantining for 7 days, and you see by Mashavi, in positive, if it spreads out the Tima, if it stands in its place, by the two pastor, it doesn't go out, say that Michvahi is the state of burn, the Tiara Kohen, and Kohen made it out, this is scarring of the Michvah. Therefore, these two cases, inflammation and burning, Torah is telling us something very interesting. What's Hashgacha here? Torah says, see, a lot of times, Torah makes the inflammation. Anything from HaKadosh Baruch Hu means to say, do teshuvah, do something about it. There is a burn someplace. Therefore, do something about it. If you don't do something about it, it heals. But that healing doesn't mean anything. That healing turns to sorah, becomes deeper and deeper. Therefore, HaKadosh Baruch Hu is saying that the Ummah, a nationwide, when they are talking to HaKadosh Baruch Hu, any small movement that they have, Hashem is talking to them. There is an inflammation, do something about it. Don't let it get deeper. There is a burn, do something about it. Then let it get deeper. Now, we're going to talk about, so far we talked about skin. Now, what about the head of the bird? If they have sarad or not. All of these ilchot, men and women are equal. Man or woman, it's an affliction on the head, or in the beard. It sees the appearance is deeper than the skin, and so that. No, there's a difference here. By the mokum of the soul, like the beard and the head, the simon of the tumor is that the hair that is golden. The hair would get golden, and weak. The hair is not strong the way that should be. Golden and the weak. Again, golden and weak is a simonim that the chiyut, the life is going to go away. Neter is the name of a sorah that comes on the head or the beard. Sorah harosh u'sagonhu is sorah the head or the beard. The appearance is not deeper, and star shachor enbo, and the black hair is not there. Quarantine him for 7 days. When he sees on the 7th day, if it then spread out, so it doesn't have golden hair, and the umar haneter in Abu Mazat deeper than skin with galach haneter. What should he should shave? With Allah, he should shave with haneter. But the neter itself, it doesn't shave. In other words, around the neter, it doesn't shave. He lets some hair to be there to see whether it's spread out or not. We can continue neter 7 days, second 7 days, and neter on the 7th day. If it then spread out, the neter or in the skin, umara elenu amur, and the appearance is not amur naor. Tiher oto akohen, bechibes begadav and wash it up. The impasso if sa neter baor, and if it goes out the neter baor acharit orato, the kohen sees the impasso neter. It is spread out neter baor. Lo yebakir akohen esarato. It doesn't have to check. Doesn't have to examine. Whether it doesn't need to examine for sar so tamehu. If start and it sar shachor samachbo and sar black samach spread out in him near panet and tauru but Kohen makes it tahu. They were here. We are talking about there's a concept of nazir. Nazir has to let his hair to grow. He cannot. In other words, the hair of the beard and the hair of the head, person has to be distant and distant. Distance has to be there. But when a person uses the hair as a vessel of Yetzer Hara, as a vessel that to show off and to make himself presentable for others, to get them into doing wrong things and wrong machshava, wrong things, then these things comes about. The Torah says there's a special sorat for the hair because the usage of the hair has to be proper. The hair makes a man, makes a lady, doesn't make a difference. Make them beautiful, make them nice. The beard makes them beautiful, nice. Now, what does he want to do that? He is just looking for decency, or he wants more than that. He wants to be center of show. He wants other people to do avera. He wants to awaken avera. Once the person that's the intention chas v'shalom, that is the machot that comes for the hair and the beard. The man or lady that they have spots in the skin of their flesh, spots. They want spots, they want white. If a person looks at it, he says spots, white spots on the body. Or what should they do? He goes to the Kohen in the skin of the flesh, spots that are kihot levanot, that are dim white. In other words, it's not a real white, it's a dim light, white. It's bohak, that's called the name of a stain that is tahor. Tahor is tahor. Now again, the Persian asks, what's the pshat of this? What do you need this? He gets white spot. This white spot is not that white to become tummy. It's dim and bohak is tahor. Now what's bohak for? Now, Kiriyadar, unfortunately explain, this is for somebody, everything is measured by measure. Imagine somebody does something that mitzad halacha is okay, but in the eyes of people, it doesn't look good. It looks ugly. The Torah says that the person should knock him Hashem Israel. You have to be clean from Hashem and Israel. It's not enough to be clean from Hashem. You have to be clean from Israel also. If you are clean from Hashem, surely you are clean from Israel. No. A lot of times it's possible a person is clean from Hashem, but in the eyes of people, let's say just like the example of Tzedakah, gets the money and he puts the money in his wallet. People think that he wants to take it for himself, or somebody works in Betamikdash and he works in the essence, the incenses that he uses in Betamikdash, brings it home. He uses the same incenses at home. People say that he brings from Betamikdash. The person should not do something that people would think of him doing another. No, then in reality it's good, but in eyes of people we start other. Now he gets the spots that everybody would think, oh, it's a Metzora, it's a Metzora, it's Metzora. But in reality it's not Metzora. Measure by measure. Again, we see the Ashkocha Baruch. Now we're going to talk about the last thing in the Storat of Adam. We're going to be talking about bald. Somebody with a bald. Now, baldness, is it a type of disease? A man that his hair falls, that should fall out from his head, or the hair should fall out, his hair would fall out from his head. It's bald at the back of the head. In other words, if the back of the hair is gone, is the baldness for the back of the head, and that's called kreyach. Kreyach means baldness in the back of the head, and it's good. But if it's from face, from the side of his head toward his face, his hair should fall out. That's called gibeyach. Frontly bald, tahor. Therefore, being bald, whether it's front or back, is tahor. Now, if it is in the back baldness or frontal baldness, nega, affliction, lavon, that's why Adam is streaked with red. In his back baldness or his front baldness, should see the set nega, Levon Adam Domit is not bekarachtu begabachtu, kimar istorat or basar. Therefore, all of the halacha of baldness that he sees, kimar istorat or basar, it's like or basar. The same halacha would apply here. Ish saruahu tamehu, ish sarua is a tame, tame tamenu. Kohen should make it tame. Berosho nigo. The nega where is in the head. Therefore, the head also becomes nega. Therefore, so far we talked about all of the part of the body that becomes sarah. Now Torah says, no, we finished with sarah. Now somebody with sarah, what should you do? And the person with sarah, that there is in him the affliction, the gadol from his garments should be rent, should be torn, and his hair shall grow long. He cannot shave them. And over his upper lip, he shall cloak himself. He has to cover himself, cloak himself over his lip. And should call tummy. So basically, he has to do three things. First of all, he has to rent his garment. He has to tear his garment. Then he has the long hair, and it should over his upper lip. He shall cloak himself. He has to cover himself. Now, the Mepharshim say Lashon Hara comes from three averot. One avera is that the person says Lashon Hara. The other avera arrogance. The other avera is that the person is very greedy regarding to his nechasim. He doesn't want other people to use it as an ayin ra, bad eye toward other people to use his nechasim. It's very selfish, greedy. He just wants whatever that he has to use himself. He doesn't want to share with other people. Now, Torah is saying that these three things that he has to do is regarding to these three averot. In other words, begadim, in other words, begadim are very special garment for a person. Torah says that your things you want to use just yourself, you don't want to share it with other people, even you yourself, you wouldn't be able to use it. You have to tell it. To understand that you're not the owner. In other words, that God gives blessing to people. If somebody is not ready to share his blessing with other people, to become selfish and self-centered, only me and my family, I'm responsible, I'm not responsible for others, doesn't care for other people, then it's because of Yifromim. Hashem doesn't let him to use even his own garment. A lot of people have a lot of garments, a lot of wealth, a lot of food, but they cannot eat, they cannot use it because they didn't share with other people. Roshoye Parua. His hair should be grown long and it should look ugly. That's arrogance. Arrogant person lifts up his head and looks down at other people. HaKadosh Baruch Hu tells him, who are you? Why do you look down at my children? What are you? Because of wealth, because of intelligence, because whatever that you have, you feel is nobody, is nothing. Ever and never, a person should look down at a Jew. Every Jew is a child of HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Who knows? Maybe in the Shamayim, he is much better than you. Why? Maybe, for sure he's better than you. Ramban says, if you see somebody older than you, you should feel that he did more mitzvot than you. Respect him. Don't look down at him. Nobody, what type of background he has. Coronavirus has a very strong message for our community. The message is, we have to appreciate every Jew. We have to understand the worth of every Jew. Every Jew is a son of HaKadosh Baruch Hu. If you don't care for him, Hashem says, I don't let you be around him. You do look down at him. Who are you to look down at another Jew? He's a children of Hashem. How could you look down at somebody else? Lift up his head and he thinks that, he's somebody. It's not my level to talk to this person. It's not my level to sit down with this person. It's not my level to look at this person, to talk to him. Who are you? Who are you? Therefore, Rosho Yeparu and Lashon Hara with his mouth. HaKadosh Baruch Hu says, I made two fences for a person, teeth and lips. Person should cover it because you didn't use it properly. You open this fence and make it to be open. The tummy, I should call out to other people and tell me, don't come close to me. All of the days that the affliction is upon him, he shall remain contaminated. Tamehu is contaminated. But not the ship. In isolation, he should dwell. Outside of the camp, Moshavu. Rashi says, out of three camps. We have camp of Shekhinah, and Israel. He should be out of three camps by himself. Now Rashi says, Mara, why? Metzora has to ship Badat by himself. Because he is separated between husband and wife and different people, should sit by himself. It was just like the Kedolei Israel said, the coronavirus also comes, takes us in quarantine because we didn't appreciate other people. We make separation between them. We still Lashon Hara between husband and wife, and because of the separation, now we have to see in quiet by himself, isolation, appreciate that when people are together, appreciate that. Always you have to make friendship with people, not argument. Now we finished with the Metzora of the body. Now we're going to go to the Metzora of the beged. Now beged the garment that has an affliction of Sarat, the big garment of the wool or the garment of linen, or in the wool or in the woof, taroput, lapishtim for the linen. Linen is flags, katan, lapsemer or semer wool, pash, or leather, charm, or kol melechet or whatever that's fashioned through leather. Har asbab charming. Now the affliction is green. or adam dam, or deep red, in the beged, in the garment, or the leather, or in the wool, or the woof, all of the articles of the leather, nega sorati, this affliction of sorat, vera etakohen, abhar etakohen, and Hashem, and it shall be shown to the Kohen, and Kohen should see the nega and quarantine 7 days. And the 7th day, if it's spread out by beged in the garment or in the warp or in the woof or in the leather, Rashi Yaser should be done with the leather, the melacha for any usage. Sorad mam'eret, hanega tamehu, is a sorad that is malignant. It creates pain. Now Rashi says mam'eret comes from the word of ke'eva, hakeva, it brings pain. Or Midrash says, Midrash bo mare, shot henemenu, Midrash bo ten bo me'era. Mam'eret comes from me'era. Give it curse that should not be used. Shasur bahana should be burned. Sorad mam'eret hanega tamehu, the sorad should burn the beged, or the garment, or the warp, or the woof, or the wool, or linen, or all of the articles of the leather, that affliction is there, because it's a sorad that malignant, but fire shall be burned. And if the Kohen sees it didn't spread out in the beged, in the garment, or in the warp, or in the woof, or all of the articles of the leather, and Kohen should command the chibris and they should wash it, that the nega actions there, and they quarantine him for 7 days, second 7 days, and Kohen said after washing the nega, if he sees that the nega didn't change its appearance, and didn't spread out, but fire, with fire we have to burn it. A penetrating application is, the application went inside. In a worn garment or new garment. Doesn't matter whether it's a worn garment or a new garment. The nega is glutimer, the affliction, after washing it, and it should tear out from the beged, or from the leather, or from the warp, or from the erev, tear out apart, and if it appears again in the garment, or in the warp, or in the woof, or only any article of the leather, and eruption, it's just eruption, but it's a fire, and the garment, or sheti, or herev, for all of the article of the leather that was washed and there disappeared from the eruption, should be washed one more time, but should become tired. So that this is the procedure, this is the law of nega, affliction of sarat, beged, garment of wool or linen, or warp or woof, or all of the articles of the leather, to make it tahor. Therefore, that was the parasha of the beged. The Torah talks about Adam, beged. Now we're going to start new parasha. The parasha talks about the korban that they have to bring. After the korban that they bring, then go to the Metzora of the house. Now we're going to explain why is it like that. This is the procedure of the Metzora b'yom taharato, in the day that becomes tahor. Who by the Kohen should be brought and shall be brought to the Kohen. In other words, there is the chutz lemachane. Now, how long should he stay? Till he sees that he is healing the makkah. Makkah becomes healing. And the Kohen should go out of the machane. Kohen should see and it's healed the affliction of the sorad from the Metzora. It's interesting. The Zohar HaKadosh asks, the first passage says, Kohen should be brought to Kohen. The second passage says, Kohen goes out. What's happening? It's brought to the Kohen, or Kohen goes out. The Zohar HaKadosh says, unbelievable point. The Zohar HaKadosh says, Kohen means all of his tefillot. At the time that he was chutz lamachane, you could understand he's very annoyed, he suffered, and he davens and prays to HaKadosh Baruch Hu with tears. All of his tefillot comes to the Kohen God on his Shamayim. Once all of his tefillot comes to Shamayim, this person, from being a person that is the Rasha, that HaKadosh Baruch Hu dealt with him as the Rasha and afflicted him, that person got to Kohen. You tell Kohen God, go greet him. He's a different person, a different stature. Nirpa means it's healing. What does healing mean? The doctor knows. The procedure of healing doesn't happen right away. It's little by little, little by little. Now, Torah tells us, and here, the Metzora, Hashem should wait till all of the nega would be gone. But here it says, as long as he does the move of Teshuvah, he does something, the procedure of healing takes place. HaKadosh Baruch Hu says the Kohen God will go and greet him. Because once he opened up his heart a little bit and the procedure of the healing is starting, no, he gets a different stature, becomes a different person. No, the Kohen God will go in front of him, go to him. Now you see that the real Korban comes later on. This is just starting the procedure of, like Malbim says, procedure of becoming Torah. And they should take, for the person being purified, 2 birds, hayot, that are alive, tehorot. They should 2 siporim birds. Sipor. No, why 2 siporim? We have to get siporim, and that's eres, and the wood of the cedar tree, and shnei tulat, and the wool, red wool, the esov, and haisop. No, why these things? Rashi says, bird sipor, because sipor just talks, chirps, just talks. Therefore, Lashon Hara, that the person said, that's because that. No, if you make yourself arrogant, like it's Eres, Gavoa, Lefisha, going buying Al Gaskaruba, makes arrogant himself, so what should he fix himself? He should make himself Shnitolat and so. He should make himself like a tolat, like a worm. Shnitolat means red wool, but tolat, the Lashon of tolat is worm, and Haisom is a low bush. The person should make himself like a worm and a bush. It's very interesting. For the arrogancy, we have one symbolic. It's Eres. For being humble, we have 2 symbolic. One is Tolad, worm, one is Ezov, because the real Anova comes from 2 different things. One thing is that the person is not arrogant, is down. No, let's say that person makes himself down, but I'm little bit, I'm a diamond. I'm just a little bit, but I'm a diamond. I'm better than everybody else. So that's Tola'at and the worm. And it's Tola'at ish, and Tola'at and nothing. Therefore, what's the secret of humbleness is, good, the person has to understand himself, has to understand his own worth. Somebody doesn't know his own worth is a fool, stupid. He has to know. The point of humbleness comes, who do you give credit to? Do you give credit to HaKadosh Baruch Hu or to yourself? Sometimes the person doesn't give credit to himself. He says, no, I'm not like a cedar tree, I'm down. But he gives credit to that being down, like an Esau, that gives credit to himself, that he makes himself Esau, like a diamond. I'm a very good, I'm a small, but I'm good. And that's a lie. Don't get any credit for yourself. Whatever that happens in life, like Mishnah in Avot says, the person is a tip pasterucha. The person is a drop, spoiled drop. If Baruch would have freeze that spoiled drop by the time of conception of a person, all of the wealth, all of the intellect, all of the ambition, all of the money would not be there. The Tzibah Kohen, and the Kohen should command the Shachat Tzipor, we should shech the Tzipor Achat on to the vessel with earthenware, and Levychaim to water out from spring. And the Tzipor that's live should take it, and the cedar tree, the cedar edge, the wood of the cedar, and the wool, red wool, and the hyssop, the tobalotom, and shall dip all of them, and the live sipor, the cyber, in the blood of the sipor, on the water of spring, and he should sprinkle al-hamitayr on the one who was being purified from Sarat 7 times, and shall purify him, and should send away the sipor, live sipor, in the face of the field. Therefore, he takes all of them and dip it in the blood of the another Pesach is like Yom Kippur. Like you have 2 se'irim, one shech, one goes, it's the same idea in the Russian say. In other words, just like Yom Kippur, we are telling a person your life is 2 goats, one goat for Kedusha, one goat for Azazel also. We say, HaKadosh gave you the power of speech. You could use the power of speech to be in the service of HaKadosh Baruch Hu, capture it. like over here, capturing, shechting it, or you place on the open field, no fence, nothing. And that would give a person death, would destroy a person. And the person is being purified should wash his garments, would go to mikveh, bring the garment, and he should shave all of his hair, and he should wash in the water, go to mikveh and tahir, and become pure. And then comes to Machane, and he stays outside of his tent 7 days. Now the marital relationship with his wife would be asur. 7 days. And now on the 7th day, on the 7th day, he would shave all of his hair, the hair of his head, the hair of Sephano, his beard, and gabot enal, the eyebrows, the brows of his eyes, and all of the hair he should shave and should wash the garments and wash his flesh. The body and goes to make it becomes tawor. William Hashem on the 8th we said the procedure. First was healing. Then he bring about those korban. Then 7 days. Now it's real korban that he brings. Therefore, here you see from HaKadosh Baruch Hu, he is responding even a small act of teshuvah that he does in the process of healing. On the 8th day, he should take two sheep, complete and blemished, and one sheep, batch not of 1 year, temiman, nekeva, female, and blemished, and 3 estronim of fine flour, meal offering, berulah mixed with oil, velug echad shemen, and 1 lug of oil, and the kohen who purifies, he should make stand the person that being purified, and along with them in front of Hashem, in front of Moed, but the kohen should take from the keves one sheep and bring it the asham for asham, and the lug of the oil, and he moves them in front of Hashem, in front of Hashem, and should shech the keves in the place that he shechs the chatat, the ta'olah, the holy place, because chatat Hashem with the kohen was Roshim, and the kohen should shed it from the blood, and the kohen should put on the middle part of the ear of the one who is being purified, the right one, and on the right thumb of his hand, and the toes, the big toes of his foot, the right one, and the kohen should take from the lug of the shemen, and he shall pour it on the palm of the kohen left hand, and he should dip kohen with his right finger of his right hand from the oil that is on the left palm of the left one, and he sprinkle from the oil with his fingers 7 times in front of Hashem, and from the remaining of the oil that is on his hand, he should give kohen on the middle part of the ear of the one who is being purified, the right one, and on the thumb of his hand, the right one, and on the big toe of his foot, the right one, and on the blood of the asham, the guilt offering, and the remaining of the oil that on the palm of the kohen, he should give it on the head of the one being purified, and provide atonement for him according to Hashem. Also, kohen should do chatat and should provide atonement and metaher, one being purified from his tumah, and then he should shech the olah. The Kohen should bring olah with him to become tahor. Now he should bring this korban to become tahor. Now, what about if he's poor? If he's poor and he cannot afford bringing this, he should take 1 keves asham for asham tefuna, should shake it, wave service in front of Hashem, and 1/10 of the ephah, so they got fine flour, one volume mixed with oil, the milcha for meal offering, and 2 turtle doves or 2 young doves that he could afford, and one would be chatat, one for olah, by bringing them on 8th day to the kohen in front of Ohel Moed, and the kohen should take the keves hasham and look at Shemen and move them service and wave service in front of Hashem, and shakes the lamb hasham and takes the kohen from the blood of the hasham and put it in the middle part of the one who's being purified, and on the thumb, right hand, and the toes of right foot, and from the oil he would pour on the palm of the Kohen, on the palm of the Kohen left palm, and he sprinkles the Kohen with his right finger of his right hand from the oil which is on the palm of the left 7 times in Hashem, and the Kohen will give from the oil al kapo, oil that's on his palm, on the middle ear of the mitar Imanit, and bohen yodo Imanit, and the thumb of the yodo, and the toes on it, al magom dam Hashem, and on the place of the dam Hashem, the blood of the Hashem, but remaining of the oil that was on the palm of the Kohen, he put it on the Shamitai, on the bed, Chaper Allah, and the Hashem, and he would do one of the Torim of the Yonah that he could afford it, that it could afford Khatat, one Olah, on the Mincha, and provide that Torim and Terif Hashem. So this is the procedure of the Negas Torah, that should not Tazria do the Torah. So these are the Korban that he brings. Now, the philosophy of this Korban that Metzora brings, they put it on the ears, middle part of the ear, and on the bohen yadu, right hand, the thumb of right, and the toes of right foot. Now, see, the point is like this: a person wants to do teshuvah from Lashon Hara. How does it do teshuvah? Person was mechal Shabbat. We tell him, don't be mechal Shabbat. Keep Shabbat. Person ate nevela, don't eat nevela. Now, how do you do teshuvah from Lashon Hara? Now, all of the korbanot is the way to bring out the point of the teshuvah. Now, fixing Lashon Hara is not something that we tell somebody not to say Lashon Hara, he wouldn't say Lashon Hara. In other words, what we are doing is like this. That's like Kohanim. When we were makdish them, we made Kiddush on 3 parts of them. What was the idea? The idea is like this. HaKadosh created 3 olamot. Olam of Elyonim, Olam of the Malachim and HaKadosh Hu, Olam of the Middle, Emtsai, and Olam of Tachton. HaKadosh created 3 words, 3 different words. Word of Elyonim, Emtsai, and Tachton. Now, Adam is the miniature of these 3 words. First and the most important thing to a person for Lashon Hara is a person has to have a self-dignity. You are a duplication of the word of HaKadosh Baruch Hu. You contain 3 words of Hashem. Word of Elyonim, your head part is the word of Elyonim. The Emtsai is Emtsai, Badim is Badim. These 3 olamot are in you. Don't think you are nobody. Don't think you are nothing. Now, the Rebbe Akiva says in Masechet Negoim that there are 72 stains. All of these things, you call them together, contemplate 72. Now, Mefarshim say, why is it 72? Because Lashon Hara damages the name of Hashem of 72. HaKadosh has different names with different numbers. 72 is the number that the Adam Suf took place with 3 Pesukim. Every pasuk has 72 letters. These 3 Pesukim makes 72, 3 times 3 letters. And that's the name of Hashem. Every 3 letters, that's something. And this name is responsible for doing miracles in the Beriah, to show the Malchut of Hashem over the nature and Teva. Now, somebody who could speak, the power of speech is power of Neshama. It's the highest form of the part of the humanity. Animals cannot talk. HaKadosh Baruch created such a magnificent and sophisticated system in a person to talk. And talking is the pen of Neshama. Therefore, when you damage the name of 72. That the name is damaged. Don't think that's a wind. It's the air, it's nothing. No, you are damaging. You are telling you need the tahara in your middle, your Elyonim. Middle part of the ear represents the Elyonim, because the ears are the gateway to the Elyonim. Whatever that comes into these ears, build up your olam. Therefore, you have to be very careful what you let it in, and that becomes a person. And Har Sinai, what did HaKadosh Baruch Hu do? He spoke to them, letting the word of Torah goes in the ears, in the olam of Elyonim, and to make a person to become a different person. And that is the purpose of what we are doing. That's right. Male, one of the begodim of Kohen Gadol is mechaper on Lashon Hara. If you notice, male has 36 pomegranates on the bottom of the male and 36 bells. Now, together 72. Now it's mechaper on Lashon Hara of 72, of the name of 72. Now, Mefarshim say, what's a pomegranate bell? Bell makes noise. Now, if you have a container, if it doesn't have anything inside, it makes a lot of noise. If you got food, it doesn't make noise. Now, the Midrash says a beged that makes noise to come, it's mechaper on the noise of Lashon Hara. What is it? In other words, all of the Lashon Hara comes from the emptiness of a person. Because it's like a bell, it's empty, makes noise. But if you make yourself pomegranate full of pits, of delicious pits, once you feel you are full of pits, you have dignity for yourself, you are content with yourself. Then when you go to other people, you don't look for the bad thing. You don't say Lashon Hara. I said the greatest musar in life we learn from vacuum cleaner. Vacuum cleaner gathers garbage. How does he do it? What's the physics of it? You create the vacuum. Is that the magic? How does he absorb all the garbage? You know what we do? We create a vacuum inside. Once there is vacuum inside, he gathers all of the garbage. Once there is a vacuum in the person likes the bell, makes noise, it's empty inside. It gathers all of the garbage. The remedy is the person has to feel like a pomegranate. Like Besat Hashem, he says, Shirashim to this day, says, like Akatech Kerimon in Shirashirim. The empty people of you, the empty people of this nation, that they got nothing, but still they are like a pomegranate, Akatech Kerimon. They are like a rimon full of mitzvot, full of good hanhagot, full of good behavior. We have to know our self-dignity. That's what the Kohen is doing. Therefore, the ears are representing the Olam of Elyonim. You have to change yourself. You have to get this oil and blood. Blood means that has to happen to you, you will be destroyed. The oil means you have to lift up yourself. It's below your dignity, these things. Then Olam of Memsai, the hands, the thumb of the hand is powerful. Person without thumb cannot do a lot of things with his hand. Therefore, you are telling him you have to lift it up. You have to understand that the head kills a person and the oil lifts up a person. Oil stays on the top and the bottom part, the toes, makes a person standing of a person, the firmness of a person. All comes from HaKadosh Baruch Hu. If you have self-dignity and understand the worth of them and try to work in that direction and that mentality, then that's a remedy for Lashon Hara. Now we're going to talk about Lashon Hara on the houses. When you come to the land, Canaan, land of Canaan, that I give you l'achuzah as a position, and I will give nega affliction of Sarat, in the land of Eres, the land of your possession. Now, Kitavu el Haris, Rashi says, the Lashon sounds Metzora lahem. He said, Metzora is a good news that they're going on. Why? Because the Amoraim, when they heard that the Galitzot are coming, they hide all of the things that they had, they hid them in the under the ground, under the houses. And when Metzora comes and gets destroyed, collapses, you find the gem. The Rebbe says, wherever there is a Metzora, there is a plague. You could have two behavior. One behavior to eat up yourself, to destroy yourself. Or if you listen to HaKadosh Baruch Hu, listen to the decree of Hashem, and collapse it and rebuild it, you find the gem, you find the jewelry. No, you have to be courage enough to destroy and to rebuild. Through that, you find the gem. Uba Ashelo, Habai, the person that belongs to him, the Bai should come begin like a nega I saw. Now, Uba Ashelo, Habai, what's it? Ashelo Habai. By the law, but law Habai. Means he was a very possessive person. Why the Metzora comes to houses? Because they came to borrow things from him. He said, I don't have. Now the Kohen comes, empty out the house. Everybody says, oh, you have this, you have that. Measure by measure. HaKadosh Baruch Hu gives us blessing not only for ourselves. Hashem gives us blessing to share with other people. And Kohen should not pinay it abide. They should empty out the house before that the Kohen comes to sit the nega. No, why do that? That everything should not become tummy in the bayit. And then the Kohen would come to sit the bayit, and the Kohen sees the affliction and nega between the walls of the bayit, shita'arud, depressions, the rachut, the green or deep red, and the mar'eh and the appearance is lower than the wall. And Kohen comes from the bayit, the pitach bayit, basically at the bayit, and continues 7 days. The Shabbat Kohen comes back on 7th day, and you see Pasuk and Nega Bichlot. and the nega, the affliction spread out in the walls of the Bayit, and Kohen commands, and they take out the avonim, and that was nega in them, and they will throw them, this avonim, outside of the city, makom tameh. They abide, and the Bayit say yatzia, you should scrape it, so invite on the inside, so around the shop, and they should put even the dirt, so that they scrape, even the offer that is scraped, that should be of the city, not every place in Makum Tami. And they should take Avonim Achron, and they bring and they shall bring them in the place of those Avonim, of the stones, and another dust there they should take and talk, and they should plaster the Bayit, the in Joshua Nega, and the Nega comes out, Parach the Bayit, and breaks out in the Bayit after removal of the stone, but after scraping the Bayit, but after plastering, all of the things, you go and see, we're not possible. Spirit of the Bayit, Sorad Mam Ereti is the Sorad of malignant, the Bayit Tamehu, and they should demolish the house and the avono, the stones and the wood and the dust of the house, and they should take it out of the machane, out of the city, and somebody comes to buy it, all of the quarantine, it tomorrow should be coming tonight, and somebody sleeps in the house, he has to wash his garment, somebody eats in the house, should wash his garment, and somebody, when comes and he sees that in the spirit of Nega Bayit, after plastering the Bayit, the Tira Kohen, and Kohen should say that Kohen Stame, Kinir Panega, the affliction healed. And Vilachach should take the Chatet Bayit to purify the Bayit, 2 birds, and the cedar wood, and the wool, and the red wood, and the hyssop, and shake the sipor to the vessel, earthen vessel, on the water of spring, and to take the wood of the cedar and the hyssop and the wool, the red wool, and the bird that's alive, the top and dip them in the blood of the sipor that was shech, and into the water of the spring, and you should sprinkle the house 7 times, and shall purify the house from with the damp of the bird and with the water of the spring, and with the sipor that is alive, with its areas and the wood of the cedar and hyssop and wool, and should send the sipor achad al mukhtar al naveir. The keeper of the Bayit should provide abundance on the Bayit and should become tired. These are the precision of Kohen Sorad Avrater, Sorad Nater, Sorad Abeged Bayit. We are said and Sapachad to teach school the day that Stamil, the Tarot, that's why this is we have to bring Kurban. Now, the Sorad of the house, it's very interesting that Rambam tells us at first the Sorad comes to the house, then the vessels of the house, then the begotten, then the person. But Torah says it the other way. Torah says first Adam, then the beged, then house. But Rambam says, this is the order. Why the order is like that? Because the way that Hashem works is first brings the house far away from person. Then little by little comes to you. Because Hashem doesn't want you to annoy you, make you suffer. Hashem wants you to educate you. If the education takes much less cost, not to bother you, Hashem bothers you that. Now, if that's the case, why Torah says the other way? Why Torah says Adam first? Because imagine somebody sees Torah in his house. Oh, I have time. It doesn't matter. Nothing is going to happen right now. Now I'm okay. It didn't get to me. Oh, we have time. We have time. Torah says, don't look at it like that. Torah says you should have been started with Adam. When you see Torah in the corner of the house, don't say it's far away from me. Don't say that it is not to me yet. Because you wink your eyes and it gets to you. Therefore, do as if it happened to yourself. Don't say that, it's others. Everything's others. It's not me. It's not a matter of me. It's others. It's others. It's the mind of a person. Mind justifies the person. Now, Torah says, Adam first to tell you the purpose is you. If it comes to other things, you feel as if it's coming to you. And then do act properly before coming to you. Now we're going to go to talk about different tumult of the person. No, وایتبر هشم موشه اهرامو دبر مثل مرتين ایش من کی نابکان تا با تو ما به من کی زاوی بسار. If there's a discharge from his flesh, zobotame from his private part from his spirit mila, discharge is tummy. Now the man has two types of discharge. One type of discharge is the marital relationship that that we're going to learn later on. But this discharge is not that. There's a difference between that. You know, the Rashi says that Lamat Atipashi Metana, Zov Domar in Esesh Sorin. In other words, Zov, this discharge that is talking about by Zov, is like the maybe that the water of the dough of the Orim barley and is pushed and Dome Luluban Museret. And it looks like the whiteness of the bear that is Museret. But Shikvatzera is kosher, tied up together. Kiluban Bear, Shena Museret. So there are three differences between Shikvatzera and this. Now, this discharge is not yet to Matubisovo. This is the tumor. It's combination with this discharge rod, where there flows. In other words, this discharge flows with the sorrow in his flesh. It's over discharge, or hechtim besar, or it's out. It's not flowing, but it clocks. In other words, it is out. Besar it behama. Venistam besaro mitipatovo. In other words, this is thick. And it's not flowing, it clogs the sorrow in its body. In other words, its private part, it blocks it. Use the word on discharge, tomato, it's tomato. No, this person is tummy. If he has such a discharge, is tummy, no. Every bed that he slept on it, Azov is tummy. And every vessel that sits on his tummy. And somebody who touches his bed, it becomes tummy, has to wash his garment, at the night. And somebody sits on the carry that is sat on it, he has to wash his garment. What the garment the tumor is not only himself, but even his garment. The tummy has to go to mikveh. The tummy at the night, and somebody touches the sarasov to the flesh of the soul that's up, he has to wash his garment, go to mikveh, and he should go to mikveh himself, and his tummy to him. Now, what about if it spits? This person's up, but pure person, if it spits on a pure person, that person would begin, he shall wash his garment is mikveh, and he should go to mikveh until night with the tummy. What if any riding equipment, Ashiri Kabbalah, that the person with the discharge shall ride upon, Zav Islam can't animate it. And somebody touches whatever that's beneath him, it must be Erev, and somebody carries also the Chabes and he didn't go to mikveh. He didn't go to mikveh and touch something. It becomes earthenware vessels that it touches. Azov should be broken because it cannot be retired in mikveh. And any vessel of wood, shot, you should be rinsed in mud. Let's go to mikveh. And when Tav becomes somebody, Sav shall come 7 days for Tarato, 7 days that doesn't have any discharge, and he should wash his garment and wash his mikveh. Mikveh is different than regular mikveh. You have to spring, and then becomes Tahu. But on the 8th day, you should take 2 turtle doves or 2 young doves and should bring in front of Hashem, I should give it to Kohen. Also, I should make them a Kohen, 1 chatat, 1 ora, and should provide a Kohen for Hashem. Now, why does that need kapara during chatat? Because this discharge comes from tumor. What's the source of this? Is indulgement of gashmiut. Somebody indulged himself in the lust and gashmiut and taiva, that would be the discharge that he would have, and it would be tummy and the korban. Now we're going to talk about the man that has shikvatzera. And should wash it, go to mikveh. So we talk about it tonight. The whole big all of the garment and leather that is on him, on its shikvatzera, should be washed. And so the Isha and the lady that has shikvatzera, lady that the man sleeps with her, and should go to mikveh. Of course, in other words, tummy for kedusha, for going to be tamidosh, eating korbanot, they're going to be tummy with shikvatzera. But the marital issue with husband and wife, it's kodesh kodeshim. It's not. In other words, we don't look at that the tumor, in a sense, this tummy is ugly. It's kodesh agodoshim. But it becomes tummy for going to mikdash, because whenever that we create a chiyut The chiyut creates tumah. Whenever there's a marital issue, they are creating neshama. Now, creating neshama, once the neshama is being created, there is a vacuum of that becomes a tumah. Therefore, like even if there is no child, even Ishchai says, every marital relationship creates a lot of babies, spiritual babies that are ruchani. There is a ruchniot there. There is a life of ruchani. Now, whenever there's a life of ruchani, the vacuum of that, after that is a balance. There's a tumah. Now we're going to talk about tumah of a lady. The Isha is Zava. A lady that has a discharge, Zava, blood should be discharged from her basar, from her flesh. 7 days tiye benedata. 7 days is tameh. Who touches it, that is the period that the lady gets. Where she shikav ala body with that slips on it, the daughter should tameh. Where she sit on it, where it touches, he should wash his garment. Touches all of the vessels, it sits on it, and should wash his garments. And if on the bed, if al-hamishkav who on the bed he should be, or al-hakeli, that sit on the gabo, it was agare. Him shachav and sleep, and if a man sleeps with her, the lady that it is nida, utini data alad. Her nida would be on him. The Tommy Shivadam, if it would be Tommy 7 days. This man would be Tommy 7 days. Besides that, he would have Khaled. In other words, having marital relationship with the lady, not even wife or person before going to mikveh, even if it's a nida right now. If he doesn't go to mikveh, there's Khaled. Remember, the greatest punishment in Torah. The person has to be very careful. Harda Mishpacha, it's very important in Torah that the person should keep Harda Mishpacha. The lady has to go to mikveh. Now, what about if the lady is older and becomes Ba'alat Teshuvah? And she never went to mikveh. Now she should go to mikveh because that tumah that she had a while ago, it never became tahor. Now she should get the procedure of the mikveh and to go to mikveh. The Torah is saying here, and all of the bed that she done. Now we are talking about the period she becomes not tameh. You have to understand, this tumah doesn't have anything to do with our mundane life. We should not tell a lady should not come to shul. You have a period right now, you have come, you can't do this, you can't see, you can't see the Torah. Some are made like that, but they are not. This tumah is the tumah of Nirdash B'Chadasham. When lady sinned by Hadam Arishon, Hakadosh gave him 10 things to be metaken that sin. That sin was a great sin. It changed the sin of the world. One of them was Dam Nida. Now, the blood of Nida, the period, is one of the consequences of the sin of Adam Arishon Chava, and through that, it's a very interesting point, but just to touch the surface, in other words, before the head, the relationship of the husband and wife would have been in a way that the pattern would go up, would go up, would go up. You don't need distance and getting close. Somehow, because of the sin, the temptation got to a person, then the person could use things not in a healthy way through temptation. And if he uses through temptation, he becomes sick of it. And all of the marriage would be gone. HaKadosh Baruch Hu with his chokhmah created such an unbelievable yesod. Now that person has a temptation, if we let that temptation grow and to be used and abused, becomes sickness. And they get sick of each other, and everything will be gone. HaKadosh Baruch Hu says in the Gemara that HaKadosh Baruch Hu created the system of the lady becomes spirit and they have to stay away from each other, that every month would be like Kala Chadasha. It's revival of the marriage. The marriage becomes a new marriage. And through that, one of the psychologists of the Goyish lady wrote an article and he says that if we could create separation between the husband and wife, that's the greatest remedy for Shalom Bayit. And he says all tribe Jews, they used to that. I don't know, maybe she got idea from a Reformed daughter, but what she's a Goyish lady realized, but she says at the end of the article, it says in the locked room, we can't do anything to save the marriage. But Torah, they did. No. A lady should get a period, no, between period and period there are 11 days. That those 11 days, the lady should not see. No, dude, after 11 days, she sees the period is a normal thing. No, what about if a lady had the period 7 days, and after 7 days she saw, therefore that is also Zavah. that is just like the man became Zav, because that was through indulgement. Here also it was through indulgement. It has to be Korban. It's the Tuma. It's a different that period. The Isha also Savadama, a lady that has a flow, that should have a flow, Dama, her blood, Yamin Rabim long for many days. That's not the period of her Nida, right? It's not the time of Nida. That's 11 days between Nida and Nida. Okiyasu al Nidata and Data, Kol Yemin Sov Tumata, all of the flowing of the Tumata community data, it's like community data, Tietamistame, Kula Mishka, whatever that sleeps, any bed that she slept, she may lie on it, all of the time that the flow comes out, the Mishka, it should be, all of the vessels that she sits down on the tummy, and whatever that is tummy, and should wash its garments, and the stuff should count 7 days, on the 8th day should take 2 turtle doves and 2 young doves, and should bring it to Kohen, Petach Moed, and the Kohen should one chatat, one olah, and provide atonement for Hashem mitzvot. You should separate the Israel mitzvot, that they should not die mitzvot. Therefore, the concept of Tumah for Torah is very important. Tumah makes the person to be destroyed, to die. Because a lot of times you see that we don't see the Tumah. What is Tumah? You have to tangible the coronavirus. The virus is not visible. We cannot see it. You cannot detect it for 2 weeks. Therefore, all of these things are happening around us to understand, to relate what Torah is talking about. The Tameh Amit Mishkani, when they make Tameh, contaminate my Mishkani, Hashem to Mutacham. You want that Kodesh Baruch Hu, you have to stay from Tumah. So Torah Dasav, these are procedure of the Zav, the man with discharge, that shall go out from him, Shichvat Zera, the Tumaba, and seminal discharge, Tumaba that becomes Tameh, Vahadav Abnata, and the woman who suffers through her separation period, Vahasav Etuba, and the person who discharges their flow for male and for female, will each for a man, as Ishkav that sleeps with Tema, with the lady that's Tameh. All of these rules were set over here to provide the Dush of Amistai. So this parashot, Metzora, tells us how wonderful Kahal Israel is. That's why the name of the parasha is Metzora. Usually we don't have a negative name on the parasha. Metzora is a negative name. Metzora means Motzira. Metzora means Motzira. Why do we say this name for it? And the Ongolos translated Metzora, if you notice, how does Ongolos translate Metzora? Segura. What does Segura mean? Why Metzora is Segura? Segura means closed. Because somebody says Lashon Hara, HaKadosh Baruch Hu close up all of the gates of Rachamim for him. It's a Segura. Lashon Hara is something, unbelievable point. Person, all of the gates of Rachamim Segura will be closed. Like Levychaim says, like a king gives a cup to a person and tells him, the vice president, give me a drink. And he's not careful with that cup becomes dirty. Now he puts the best drink in the cup and brings for the king. King throws at him. He says, I don't want it. Therefore, the Metzora is Motzira, is something that HaKadosh Baruch Hu brings to a person that he did something wrong. Now, in other words, you have to understand, it's a privilege of the Hal Yisrael to have Metzora. Baruch Hashem, we have such a shaykh with HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Hashem talks to us. Hashem relates to us. Hashem elevates us. Hashem, in other words, the fact that we have Metzora, we have to be very proud of it, because we are chosen nation of HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Hashem directly talks to us. That's why the name of the parasha is Metzora, to point out. And Gaon Mivina, on the positive note, Gaon Mivina says somebody is tempted to say Lashon Hara, he doesn't say Lashon Hara. All of the gates of Rachamim will be open for him. Some people have Ne'ilah time only one time during the year. Some people have more than one time. They are tempted to say juicy Lashon Hara. Very much tempted. I have to say it. But he holds back his mouth. He doesn't say it. HaKadosh Baruch Hu says, you close up your mouth and you don't say, I open up all of the gates of Rachamim for you. And you're going to be blessed, you and your family. It's the greatest investment we could have, especially nowadays these days. Any time that you are tempted to say Lashon Hara, we could make a great investment for Kahal Israel. We say, HaKadosh Baruch Hu, say it, tefillah. Hashem, I don't say Lashon Hara, and the zechut that I'm not doing that, somebody in the ventilator, somebody that needs zechut and merit should be saved. HaKadosh Baruch Hu should remove the magnifa from Kahal Israel with zechut, what I'm doing. It was such a great investment we could make in such a day with a not cost so much. It's hard. not easy. But temptation to prevent, you open all of the gates of Rachamim for you, yourself, and for Israel, especially in the period of time that we need Rachamim so much. There are a lot of sick people that they need to be helped, and you could help them. Please get on the case and help them. B'tzad Hashem, we should hear B'surah Tovot. Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat